Out for a little walk around. My bushes are not. Oh, it looks like they're going to start budding. Got some kind of a big weed. It's green. Didn't mind the winter. I do have a bunch of bulbs in there. I have to clean that up. But let's get my scissors. It's my greenhouse. I still got some cleanup to take out to the compost. So this is kind of my setup here at the greenhouse. Got my tools, the scissors. If it's going to be a little cool in the spring when I plant, I just throw a little fire in. These strings are all I had. If you see any of my videos from last summer, if you can get back there and look at them, I had tomato plants 7-8 feet high in here. Tons of tomatoes on them. But had peppers back here and cucumbers, and all the way down that side I had cucumbers. So I got a little bit of stuff I had to pull out of the ground, and pepper plants. So I'll start packing snow in here. There's a little bit left, so in the spring I'll start packing snow from outside, and I'll spread it all along the edges there. It's really dry because of the heat through the winter. Even just the snow stayed on here most of the winter, and then it sheds off, starts to slide down, and so, but it's dry, so you have to put quite a bit of water. I like to utilize, I keep my barrels, I shoveled them full the other day, the snow, so it's kind of melted, froze a little bit, but it's melting down. I'll just get the door open, take all this stuff here and spread it inside. Gets a little moisture, it'll start to sweat, and see it's really dry. The plastic's dry, everything. There's no moisture left in there. So we're just gonna go work on these planters I tore out. Some beautiful soil. I'm gonna clean that one up, tear it all apart, get it out of the way. Then I gotta take all this dirt and move it. I gotta build another planter and move all this. Have a good compost, and just down underneath when I put the stuff in here. That's all sticks and rocks and stuff in the bottom, just to help with drainage. And then I added a few bags of soil and some sheep manure. So I got to move all that. So I got a spot there that is going to turn into a project. But I just use the scissors and trim this stuff up. Got to rip some of this stuff out. So just take you along for a little spring cleanup. Just gotta rip all my strings down. They're getting stretched, they're old, kind of getting stretched out. I usually take this stuff all out in the fall, but I have cats here. As soon as the snow melts off, they think it's a place to play and dig in the dirt and use for the bathroom and stuff like that. So, and I have to set mouse traps or something in here to try and deter them from digging up the garden. Once stuff starts to grow, then they usually don't bother it at all. So it's just getting having this left, I think it was good. I never got in there this spring and bothered it at all, so just up in the air, this is the first place the snow kind of starts melting off, and once it's warm, I mean, the cats, they live in the shop, but they have a little door so they can come and go, and as soon as the temperatures start to warm up, of course they like to get out and dig. That's why I put all this stuff, little fencing stuff around. And they kind of know they're not supposed to be there. Here, little gray. I dump wood ash from my wood stove every year. I dump about a 2-gallon pail in each planter. That helps to keep the bugs down, and just the ash helps, like a little bit of charcoal, stuff like that. Mix it in with the soil. I usually only grow carrots and stuff in this planter, or beets, things like that, my radishes, and so just keeping a little ash and whatever. It just it helps, sure helps the soil. Beautiful, beautiful, just beautiful black soil. And you dig down about a foot, you start running into sticks. That's just what I put for drainage and that, so it's like seeing the piles over there. They work great, but here I'm just trying to clean out some of my chives. Clean these all up. These are, I believe they're garlic chives. And enough grow here, they come back year after year. But I left them quite long, had some winter kill, so I don't know if it's because I had cut them short in the fall. So I'm just kind of experimenting this year. Now this stuff looks all dead, but now when you get down in, I'm just trying to cut 2 or 3 inches above the ground, because there's all kinds of little green shoots starting to grow. So these grow, and they're nice for salads and stuff like that. I just they freeze really nice. Take and chop them all in small little pieces, pack them into freezer bags, and they'll keep in the freezer 2-3 years. They're just as green and nice. You make soups and stuff, you can just open the bag, shake a little bit out, and so it gives you a nice little onion flavor or garlic flavor. Oh, there's enough here that this patch I have to cut it off. Like it'll grow 14-16 inches tall in like a short time, and so I cut some off, get it all ready. And you know, some people don't know what to do with chives. They just plant them, they start to grow, and then they pull them right out like baby onions, and you don't want to do that. They'll come back if you just cut them off. Come back year after year. We'll probably show you in video, or if you go back even last year, we're gonna have some tours around my garden and how things are doing, and you'll see how do you grow so thick? Like what I'm cutting off is all, just kind of dries up. It dries up just about like grass, but these are actual little onion tops. I try not to be too rough with them so I don't pull them out, but I have lots here. Like I said, there's enough here to feed 7 or 8 families when they get growing. I have neighbors coming over, and my daughter comes, and got some other family that knows I have this patch, so they come and help themselves. Once I get a picking or 2 off for myself, it goes a long ways. You fill up a big Ziploc bag and it's amazing how long that lasts, like unless you make a lot of soups. If you don't have planter beds or anything like that, you can plant this stuff in a pot. Plant it in a pot, put it by your kitchen stove, kitchen sink, in the window a little bit, give it a little light. I think it'll grow all winter long. I've never grew it inside, but it's very hardy, it's growing, and until it gets quite a hard frost, it just keeps on growing. Cut it all off just like I'm doing now, and it just comes back. So it was really heavy. I hadn't cut it, so I hope damage it now, cutting it in the spring. Just all experimental. So the snow's been off of it for about a week, and lots of moisture in the planters yet from all the snow on it and whatever melting down in. But yeah, the shoots, another 2 weeks, then we'll be probably 10 inches tall, or maybe even taller. You just get, if you cut too short, then you'll be having to pick some little dry pieces out of your stuff before you cut it up and put it in the freezer. But and if you've seen me doing a little milling in the yard, I don't usually bring logs in and cut them up in the yard, because this is what happens. You wind up cleaning up piles of bark and cleaning up that. So we're just gonna try and get yard cleaned up a little bit. You can see the snow is disappearing pretty fast. So a little bedding from the dog house, but that's my little spring garden tour for you. I hope you enjoyed. Maybe later you'll pop back and have a look and see what we're growing. I got this one here. So through the winter I just threw all my compost and mix up some dirt, throw a little dirt on, I'll stir it around in another week and mix it up a little more, and then when I move all the dirt, all that compost is going to be in there. That'll be nice. So just gonna have, spring's coming, and probably put a few things in the greenhouse. Not sure just yet, because I do have plans. Some plans of maybe not being here as much this summer, so if everything works out, I don't have to get somebody to come over and water. I'll be just doing some basic planting, whatever, some stuff in the garden, and hope Mother Nature looks after it. Some years it does, some years you got to be there to water it. And I do have a big water tank out back I'll be putting on my big trailer, and I park it by the greenhouse, so if I do get the neighbor comes over and waters, it only takes him a few minutes to water. I've got a water pump there that I hook up, run it off a little generator, and so I got my garden hose, and let's walk around, give everything a good drink, and so. I'll get some moisture happening. Oh, that's just a little spring getting ready, so that'll help. Like tomorrow, see, this plastic is just dry in here. Tomorrow it'll be wet. It'll just recycle. It'll go up, it'll fall back down. So there, that's a little bit. And since packing water, I still have snow outside the door, and just pack some snow in, and it's all heavy. It's all lots of water in the snow, so it'll get the process happening.